All right, here we go, guys. And yes, I'm back on the road. And this is actually filmed a couple of weeks ago, late June, attempting to film another picking boats by the side of the road video. I did find a couple of boats, only two this time. And we're going to see a shot of one of them coming up. And it is a 2002 Key Largo 176. It's a 17-foot, 7.5-foot beam Key Largo, 2002 model year, a 2002 72 stroke on it as well, a 10,800 with an external gas tank. The internal gas tank is not operable, and it got me to thinking. And the owner didn't want his boat featured. He didn't want his personal information out on the internet, which I totally get. And it got me to thinking. Used boat prices have gone crazy. We've talked about new boat prices on the channel before. We have a lot of boat show videos evidencing just how crazy new boat prices have got. But as a result of new boats, their prices being so high, the lack of availability, and the lack of availability of something called resin, the glue that's used to make boats, delaying new boats, and then in general, the lack of large outboard motors. Right now, Yamaha has a 1-year waiting list. Mercury also has about a 1-year waiting list if you want to repower. And even if you're a new boat manufacturer, there are delays. I know a couple people who have new boats on order. The boats are delivered without an engine, and it's just sitting at the dealer waiting for an engine. Consequently, the used boat market, the trickle down effect, has taken a big hit, and we're gonna talk about that here. But like I said, this Key Largo, nice boat, perfect for fishing the bays. You could trailer it anywhere. But 10,800, I started thinking, I wonder what it costs new. Now, I couldn't find the MSRP of this model in 2002, brand new, but I did find some other relatively newer boats, used boats that is, for sale, where I was able to find the MSRP. And I want to debunk the myth that used boats depreciate in value. And yeah, over time they will. We're in a very extraordinary times right now with boat prices, truck prices, engine prices, all that good stuff. Combination of things, like I said, lack of resin, lack of the superconductor chips that get put in cars and engines. It's just causing all sorts of shipment delays. But back to used boats. So I went on some boat websites, The Whole Truth, Boat Trader, and I found used boats for sale, and I checked out what they cost new, and the results are very interesting. Now, historically, boat prices have depreciated after a new boat is bought, and you're seeing a picture of my Makecraft 23 Pilot House, which I bought brand new with a trailer in 2009, a Honda 225 four-stroke, literally a brand new boat. I paid 40 grand for it. I sold it 4 years later for 25,000, and that's about a 40% depreciation. And that's what the boat market was for years. You'd buy a boat, you'd sell it a few years later, you would take a hit, even with inflation. And there were a lot of savvy boat shoppers who would specifically look for 2, 3-year-old boats to buy because they didn't want to pay new boat prices. Fast forward to 2021, and let's take a look at our first boat here. And this is a slightly older model. This is a 2004 Sailfish 218. Really nice boat, used boat. I found this on The Whole Truth. This is a relatively current ad. I think, trying to read it, I think it's June 29. It was first posted for sale. A fine, smaller size center console that'll do everything you need. You can take it offshore on really nice days. Certainly would be perfectly at home in the back bays and the sounds. And the owner's asking what I don't think is an unreasonable price of 40,000. Except when you go back and look at what it costs new back in 2004 with this very engine package. And yeah, we found a sport fishing, or one of the fishing magazines. I think it's Sport Fish magazine. It's up here right now, and it did not even cost that much then. Now again, this is without inflation. The MSRP was, I believe, around 34,000. There it is, 34,861. When you factor in inflation from 2004, it does come out to over 40,000. But that's very little depreciation in 17 years with the original engine on. I did not look at any boats that were repowered. I didn't think that would be a fair comparison. So amazing to me that you could have bought that boat for 34,000. That's the MSRP, meaning you might be able to get it cheaper than the MSRP. Most people can negotiate 10-15% off MSRP. Let's go to the next boat. And the next used boat is a 2019 Cayman 226 with a Yamaha 200 F200, a four-stroke. And one of my favorite bay boats. They're slightly heavier than other bay boats, and I think they look fantastic. And the owner's asking what seems like maybe not an unreasonable 67,000 for a boat that's only 2 years old. And again, it got me to thinking because I've reviewed models like this at the boat shows. I believe in 2020 Miami in the Bay Boat Series. I forget if it's this one or the 246, but I remember thinking these are pretty cheap, and 67,000 does not sound cheap. And here you go. BoatTest.com reviewed this very boat back in 2019, and about 42 grand right there with a new engine. It unreal. So 42 grand back in 2019 new, and yeah, some nice options on this one. There's a trolling motor, electronics. There's a single Garmin on it, but my math. That's an almost 50% markup since it was bought new 2 years ago. Again, you would never see this in 2016, 17, 18, 19. This all started last year with COVID. And look, let me qualify something. I'm a capitalist. I work in financial services. If God bless this owner, if he can get that, that's what the American economic system is built on. I'm not trying to in any way disparage the folks selling these boats, including that first boat that was selling for 10,800. It's what the market demands. If there's no supply and the market demands it, then by all means, owners or existing owners should be able to collect that. This is simply meant to highlight how crazy these prices have gotten. And we're going to go through one more model, the venerable Boston Whaler 280 Outrage. And I'm doing it a little different this time. I'm starting with the boat test review and the MSRP. This is the 280 model. The one they tested had twin 300s, 2019 model. MSRP, which I don't think is with the 300s. I think the standard is 225s, which we're going to see on the boat for sale. $177,000, which seems pretty reasonable. Mind you, this is 2 years ago. 177,000. Fast forward to today, and we have a 2018 model for sale with 225s, not the 300s, but a 2018 model. So one model year older than the boat test boat that was selling for 177,000, and the asking price on this is 245,000 with the 225s, not the 300s. And again, this all comes back to supply and demand. I know when I visit my local boatyard, North Shore Yacht Sales here in Eastern Long Island, Mattatuck, New York, the proprietor Red has no boats for sale. I did a video a couple weeks ago with two boats he had for sale. I believe one has sold and possibly the second one, but he has nothing. And he used to have 4 pages of boats for sale. He'd have 30, 40 boats for sale at any time. And there just is nothing right now. And that's what's causing this. The fact, and it's really a combination of a couple things. The fact that the new boat prices have gotten so out of control, new boat inventory severely slowed down with first COVID, then the resin shortage, now the chip shortage. Engines are way back ordered. Again, 1 year for a new Yamaha, larger Yamaha outboard, 1 year for a larger Mercury outboard if you're repowering. And even Suzuki, the repower specialist, they're at about 150 days. And consequently, the used boat market, again, that trickle down effect, it's now hit them, and the prices are, to borrow one of my favorite phrases, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like these type of videos, please hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing.